Hello, and welcome back to DLA Alternative. It's your boy Brandon, and I hope everyone is doing phenomenal as always. And thank you to everyone who keeps subscribing, liking, and following this journey with us. But yes, as you can tell by the thumbnail and title, and from the last video, if you watched that one, I hinted that there are some secrets in the high school. Yes, in Hawkins High School. And this is going to be just a very quick one because there's not much to this scene whatsoever. This scene is actually extremely quick, and if you are not paying attention, almost instantly you will miss this, okay? So you have to pay attention to me on this one. But more importantly, I want your guys' help with this one, okay? Because after I show you this, all right, I want you guys to go on a hunt, and I want you guys to see if you could find anything else like this within this entire show, whatever you guys are watching at any specific time. And specifically with the schools, okay, whether it's the middle school or the high school, I want your help with this. Because real quickly, I want to give a little explanation of what I'm about to be talking about, okay? Because if you guys watched Tadam, all right, the event, if you did watch that event, okay, what was the big major prop that they used during that whole event, during the Stranger Things sequence, okay? And no, I'm not talking about the memory thing, okay? That was a big thing about what they were showing, okay? Like a flash down memory lane, all right? But the biggest thing that they were using as reference and as a prop was the VHS tapes. And I did a theory talking about this, okay? The memory theory part 2. We talked a little bit about Brenner and Eleven's conversation involving these tapes, about how he has every success and every failure on recording on those tapes. And specifically with Brenner and the lab, okay, that's kind of what that conversation's about. But this secret or this little hidden thing in the high school makes me think and question things. The reason being, okay, in this scene that we are going to analyze real quickly, and it's a very quick shot, like I said, but in this scene, this is season 4, chapter 1, the Hellfire Club, okay? And this is right when the basketball game is about to start. Everyone's in that school, and that girl, Tammy or whatever, is singing the national anthem. And during that scene, right when it's about to end, we start seeing Mike, Dustin, and Erica walking down the hallway, okay, on their way to that Hellfire Club game, the Dungeons and Dragons game. And real quickly, we will talk about the Dungeons & Dragons game in an Eddie Munson Theory Part 2 coming out very soon. I have to analyze that scene very thoroughly, and that's probably going to be a very long one, maybe 2 videos. But back to the point, okay, when Dustin, Mike, and Erica are walking down that hallway, okay, you guys got to pay attention to this like I keep saying, but as they're walking down the hallway, we see a front shot of them walking forward, okay? But when it does this and it shows their back, okay, it shows a quick glimpse of their back and them walking from behind, all right? But then after that, as this national anthem scene starts to come to a close and we see them getting closer from the front again, I want you to pay very close attention right above Dustin's head. Look right above Dustin's head, right in those pipes. See those pipes running along the ceiling, okay? Just pay close attention and watch that spot while that scene is going on. But the big secret here, people, is, and like I said, it's really quick, I'll keep repeating it, but the big secret here is look right above Dustin's head and watch for that blue light flash, okay, that blue blink. So now that I showed you that, and now that I hinted at those VHS tapes, all right, how are VHS tapes recorded, all right? They're recorded on cameras, correct? And more importantly, you probably already made the connection, people, that blue light is probably on a camera or a hidden camera for in the school for some reason, which I'm going to ask you this. Why would there be hidden cameras in the school? And if you watch The Secrets of Hawkins Middle School, the last video that I just posted, you would understand that there's some weird shit going on in schools all the way back to when these kids were in middle school. But more importantly, people, if we look up from our best friend Google, if cameras or security cameras were common in the 1980s in schools specifically, they apparently were not common in schools in the 1980s. They actually were not common until the early 1990s, all right? And especially in schools, because apparently at that point in time, which I did not know all of this, apparently CCTV was just getting started big time and being used in banks specifically. But it was not common for schools in the 1980s to have security cameras. I mean, I don't know how factual it is. Don't mark my words on that. You might know if you were in a school, high school in the 1980s, let me know, and let me know if that was a common thing. But more importantly about this, okay, in this show, all right, we know that things are kind of weird all over the place. But in the Secrets of the Middle School theory that I just posted, okay, we talked about a mysterious walkie-talkie that jumps from a bathroom to outside by Will's feet. I'm not going to hint at anything else other than that. Go watch that video. But more importantly, all right, now that we're seeing this and now that we know from Tadum that the VHS tapes are going to play a major role in season 5 and memory, all right, do you guys think that there's a bigger reason of why things could be being recorded in the school and random things like this all the way early on before anything really happens, okay? And if you look more into our best friend Google about security cameras in schools in the 1980s, some schools might have had them, but the problem is that it was super, super expensive, okay? And in our show Stranger Things, okay, we have a connection to this, all right? That only major expensive things like this that are capable of doing these things are being used by who? People, Hawkins Lab, and apparently being funded by the government or whoever, all right? So logically, people, there is a reason why this school in Stranger Things might be able to have security or hidden cameras recording stuff. But the bigger question is, people, why are they recording random things? And this is the only thing I've found. So that's why I need your help. I need your help to see if you guys ever see anything like this, blinking lights randomly in the school for any reason, somewhat like that. Something that might look hidden, like maybe there's a scenario being recorded for some specific reason, and maybe we might see stuff like this in season 5. The fact that they use memory and these VHS tapes as a major reference during Tadum when they showed us this first major teaser trailer, okay, the thing you got to think about, people, is that those are hints straight away right on stage for us all to see. So how do we compare that to something that could happen in season 5, all right? Well, with VHS tapes and recordings, and as we see in the Nina Project, people, those are recordings of memories, okay? So is there a reason that maybe just random memories throughout this entire town maybe is being recorded? But the bigger question is, people, why could they not be doing this within the actual town, okay? Why could they not be watching them? They're listening, but why could they not be watching them too, through CCTV specifically? So the bigger question I'm going to ask you, and that's why I need your help, is I want to know your thoughts about this big idea and theory possibly that we could kind of create. The big thing I'm getting hints of, okay, is if there's hidden cameras or they're recording this entire town for some reason, and I mean Hawkins Lab or whoever those people we see are that are listening in on the telephone conversation specifically. In my opinion, we could connect the fact that they're listening to the fact that maybe they are watching too. But the bigger question I'm going to ask you, and we're going to end this off with, is we have these random ideas or these things involving experiments involving Hawkins Lab, specifically, say, the Philadelphia experiment, okay? And if you haven't seen the First Shadow documentary, that's associated with the First Shadow origin story involving Henry Creel, okay? And in my opinion, we do get a hint of that in this show in season 3 when Hopper calls that random place, okay, with the clocks and that random dude that Joyce ends up bitching out. But that guy that they end up calling, okay, with all those clocks, all right, they call a telephone and it says Philadelphia or something like that. So in my opinion, there is a connection to this, but I want to ask you this, okay, we have the Philadelphia experiment. We have like the Nevada experiment. That's one that's out there as well. We have MK Ultra, all right? But based off this, the fact that this lab is located in this town, and we find out from Alexei in season 3, I'm going to connect another season 3 thing here, that location was everything to this gate, okay? The big question here is, people, is if they're recording and listening to this entire town for some reason, do you think that the town of Hawkins could be its own experiment? Specifically being the Hawkins experiment. Or maybe an experiment that's possibly the solution to that previous problem being the Philadelphia experiment that connects to our First Shadow origin story. Especially now that we're getting hints of this at the very beginning of season 4, okay, and then all of a sudden we know that there's a major connection and a reason for this First Shadow origin story being the Creel family and Henry Creel's story. But like I said in a lot of previous theories, that our parents and all of our parents pretty much, and as well as Bob, are involved in the First Shadow origin story, people. And for some reason, as we talked about in the memory theories, they do not remember certain things, or they have not mentioned anything at all about this, okay? But the thing about this is I'm getting major vibes now that just from this little flash or this little blink of a blue from a possible hidden camera in the school, I'm getting major vibes that maybe not just our group and our Girl 11 and Hawkins Lab are the only ones involved. Maybe this whole entire town of Hawkins is involved one way or another, and we just do not know and have not seen this yet. But more importantly, I hope you guys like this one. This was just a really, really quick secret. And like I said, you might have trouble seeing it, but just pay attention right above Dustin's head that whole entire time. You no doubt will see it on these pictures in this theory and in the show, okay? So just mark my words that something weird is going on. And from a simple Google search, it says to me, and I believe it, I know not everything is true on Google, but a basic Google search says that cameras and security cameras were not common in schools in the 1980s. So logically, that makes no sense why there should be something that resembles a camera in this school. And the only place we know that's capable of getting the money or possibly the technology to be able to do these things is, no doubt in my mind, Hawkins Lab. So the big question is, people, what the hell is going on? I need to know your thoughts and I need your help. Keep looking through the show and let me know your thoughts. But more importantly, as always, I love each and every single one of you. Keep subscribing, liking, following this journey, and you guys already know